All right, so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and demo a lab that you would normally be doing in class. So I wish that, y'all were here so that way we could go ahead and do this, but that's okay. I'll go ahead and do this, and, that way you can watch this recording and you could take your data about the lab. So for this lab, we're looking at pH graphing. So I have a variety of substances. So if you look at your paper, you actually have some substances listed. So for example, okay, if I'm looking right here, okay, antacid, Coke, let's see here, let me find the other paper. Okay, things like Mountain Dew, vinegar, bleach, and so on. Okay, so the only one I did not have was Mountain Dew. Okay, so I'm not gonna buy a bottle of Mountain Dew for this lab because I don't drink Mountain Dew. So I did substitute that with table disinfectant. Okay, so I have a ton of pipettes here. Okay, and they're all numbered and they all have substances in them. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be testing the pH of each of these. So I have, for my pH paper, my meter. I will be posting this meter up, that way you can compare the paper samples to them. So this meter is a little bit different. We're going to be using this one that I'll post. So if I read these instructions, I have small pieces of pH paper. I'm going to place a drop of the substance being tested on the paper using a glass rod. Like I said, I have pipettes, so I'm going to use a dropper on my pipette. I'm going to wait 20 seconds and I will compare the color of the pH strip to the color chart provided. Okay, and then of course throw away the pH paper, and do a new piece. Okay? All right, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to leave this right here so that way y'all can compare. So my first one, number 1, is an antacid. Okay, so my antacid. So I'm going to go ahead and put my pH paper here. I'm going to do 1 drop. Probably going to get my paper all soggy. I didn't even think about that. Yep, there it goes. It's all soggy. And wearing gloves, I can't even pick up this paper. Okay, I'm going to wait 20 seconds. Okay, and I can see that there's a slight color change. All right. Okay, so that is my measured pH for my antacid. Okay, so I'll go ahead and leave that there. All right, so I'm going to continue on. Okay, and I'm actually going to do this off the camera just so that way my paper doesn't get all soggy. Okay, so I'm going to do Coke next. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit there. Okay. Table disinfectant. I'm just going to go ahead and start going through and doing the ones that I can. Okay, and then let's see here. Number 4 is vinegar. Okay. All right, so, okay, here's my Coke. I'm actually take off my gloves because this is really difficult. Or maybe not. Okay, here's my table disinfectant. Okay, and you can see where I placed that drop. What I probably should do is get tweezers. Okay, and here's the vinegar. Okay, and I don't want them to cross-contaminate because you can see where I accidentally touched it. Okay, all right, my next one is bleach. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, 5. Hopefully this does not bleach my desk. Okay, here's bleach. Okay, next is milk. Found an easy way to do this. There we go. Okay, and there's milk. All right. All right, so, okay, there's that. Okay, that's how these test. And my bleach, man, my bleach is dissolving or disappearing. I guess because bleach has such high chlorine content that it's going to evaporate. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to my next page. Move these over here. All right, my next page. Okay, so here's my little pH meter again. Okay, so number 7 is water, DI water to be exact. Excellent, put a really big drop. Okay, so there's my DI water. Okay. There's my next one, which is ammonia. It smells fantastic. And there must be something on my paper that's basic. Water should not be doing that. That would be really interesting if they sprayed the paper with something basic. All right, next is detergent. Let me see here. I think, is that detergent? Detergent number 9, yep. Detergent does not want to come out of my pipette. Okay. All right, and there's a bubble for my detergent. Okay, so there's detergent. Okay, so next I have lemon juice. Okay, so lemon juice is number 10. Here's my lemon juice. Okay, saliva. Okay, and yes, I did do that one for the sake of science, I could say. Okay. I can get a pH strip. Okay, there's, oops, man, I just messed that up. Okay, there's saliva. Okay, so next is shampoo. And shampoo is super viscous, so that one's really hard. Let me see here. Shampoo. Ah, man, I'm making a big old mess. Okay, orange juice, we're almost done. Okay, here's orange juice. Okay, mouthwash. And then the last one is apple juice. And the mouthwash smells extra minty. Okay, and apple juice. I can drop that off. Okay. All right. Okay, so DI water, that one was kind of weird. That should have stayed in that yellow range. Our water is a little bit basic, so I may see it a little bit on this side, but it should have stayed a little bit higher. Ammonia, remember when we first did ammonia, it was the dark blue color, and that was what I would have expected. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, make your observations from the video from when I initially did the pH strips. Okay, and that's what's going to be your pH. So next, okay, we need to figure out, okay, and it's time for the next class. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to calculate a pH. Okay, so what we're gonna go ahead and do, we're gonna calculate our measured pH and our calculated pOH. So OH is going to be our hydroxide ions, okay? H is going to be our hydrogen ions. And so that's going to give us the relative concentrations of our ions, whether it's the hydrogen or the hydroxide, okay? So that's what we'll be doing today during class. So make sure you go ahead, you document what's it called, your pH, and then we will be moving on to this.